some water today. I realized I have not been drinking as much water as I should every day, and I made sure to get myself some water. I really like that Fiji water. It's one of my favorites. Core water is also pretty awesome. And not totally not, it'd be great as if I had to deal with them for sponsorship. I'm hoping for sponsorship of my channel. For right now, I just like their water. In any case, there's been some messages coming through from DMs today that they definitely want to make sure that those of you who line up and rendezvous with these videos get to hear. So I am here as your medium with my cards to try to help make sense of what they're talking about. Now, there's been a couple of things that have been coming through, and it's interesting. Like, first and foremost, the main message is like, there are a lot of swirls happening right now, a lot of things coming together and moving apart and like intermingling and mixing. There's a lot of things going on in the universe. We're kind of in a sandbox moment where things are like reshaping themselves and some things are ebbing and flowing, and you just kind of want to be in kind of a similar state yourself. I mean, it's one of those kind of like quicksand. The more you fight it, the more you're just going to get sucked into it. Either you can be kicked around by it, or you can find gratitude in it. And I tend to suggest that you go for gratitude over being drug around by different universal energies, if you know what I mean. But the main, like, there were several messages that kind of came through. But the main message that I put in the title is, find me where it feels good. Like, the main message that they want to bring through, and I'll show some cards and we'll do a few more messages, but the main one is like, look for that place within yourself where you feel good about you, and you will find your special person, whether they're your twin flame, soulmate, anything. Look for that place within you that you feel good about you, and especially if there's somebody that you really genuinely love and that they love you, you will find them there always. It's always true. And the other thing is that it's kind of a two-part message, is like, go do things that make you feel good about you. Or try new things. And even if they don't make you feel good about you, you'll feel good that you tried something new. And go, like, I know that we're all like working hard and we're all like trying to do multiple things to keep up, and with the economy and everything else and the way that the news is throwing things on and everybody's fighting with somebody, it could get easy sometimes to get pulled in and to to neglect embracing our inner child and like having a form of play and doing things that really like feels good and feels nice. But in those times it's even more important to do that. And when you indulge your inner child in healthy ways and you do things like that, you rejuvenate yourself. You give yourself more energy. I know it seems backwards. And I'm not saying don't go out and party, but I'm not saying that kind of stuff. That's kind of like when we're all kids, that's what we imagine that adults do to relax and have fun. But really, it's not as fun. Really, like afterwards, like all the crap that happens and whatnot, that's not really necessarily doing indulging your inner child. I mean, like if you like karaoke, go and do that. If you like to cook, go and do that. If you like to play on a playground, do that. If you like to walk in the woods, go do that. If you like to ride bikes, if you like to draw, doodle, listen to music, sing out loud in the car, if you like to hang out with your friends, if you like to go for walks, if you like to go through antique shops, you know what I mean? Like, find something fun and healthy to do that brings you to that feel good place, and in that place you will find you, and that's where you will always find your love, your special person. Now, the funny thing is, there this is where I get torn, because there's several messages that are not from the cards in specific, but they do fit with the cards that I pulled so far. Um, The other one is, I don't know, those of you that remember the movie Jungle Book, there's the scene where Mowgli sees the girl and she's singing, I will fetch the, what is it? And I will fetch the pail of water till the day that I am grown. Man, you know what? It's funny. Like, I'd been listening to that song, and then there's another song, it's from Lion King too, called We Are One, where Kiana is singing about, can I still be myself if there's some greater plan, something that I have to fit into? And it feels like, oh man, I still feel the tingles from it, you know what I mean? It feels like a combination. Like, it feels like your person is like seeing you, and it doesn't, it, like gender roles, like put them where it feels appropriate, and switch them up where it doesn't feel appropriate. But it feels like they're kind of like they're seeing things from a more mature place, but they're also still feeling some of that, like, if there's this greater plan, if there's spirituality in this, if there's all this stuff, do I still get to be me? But they're also in a place of seeing you in a similar way, like, trying to be yourself, trying to grow, trying to do stuff, and they're like, they want to encourage you on your own journey. They see you work hard. That was the other message that was kind of coming through. It's like, I see you. I see you, and trust the children, which is, the message I got was, it's twofold. One, the first one for everybody: trust your inner children, your inner child, your special person's inner child, everyone's inner child. Even, doesn't matter where that's at. Trust the inner children, trust the ancestor children, but then also, if you have actual children, trust in your children. Trust in your bond with them. If you don't have a healthy bond with them, work on it. But otherwise, there's something about it. And it reminds me of the thing that happened today. Like, I was at the grocery store. I posted in the community section. I was at the grocery store, and I got through, I got everything, got to line, went to the self-checkout. And then for whatever reason, it was like, sorry, you need an attendant's help. And like, oh, it was a good like 15 minutes. It was a long time to be standing there. Usually someone's there pretty fast. But I was like, in my mind, I'm like, I don't know what's going on. And there was a lot of people, a lot of clerks that passed by that probably could have helped. I don't know why they didn't though. So I'm like, maybe they don't know how, or maybe it's a thing. I don't know. But I was laughing because there was a little girl behind me. It was about my Joey's age, maybe like 10 or 11, and she had this pink sweater on, and it just said love all over, like love, 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 love. That's all it said. And I kind of smiled at her, and I turned, and I was just like, okay, I'll lean on my cart. And, by near the end of it, a clerk finally comes over, and he doesn't see the big flashing thing above my register, or above my I don't know, self-checkout machine. And he, for some reason, he looks at her though, and he says, "Can I help you?" And she goes, "Yeah, can you help her?" Just like over there. And it wasn't like she wasn't being shy or meek about it at all. She just had a very gentle energy. It was great. But it was very adult actually. And he looks at me and he sees the thing. He's like, "Oh yeah." And I looked at her and I was like, "Thank you," And I was done in there real quick, and I waved goodbye when I left. But what it reminds me of actually is like, there's been a lot of synchronicities coming up with, like, there might be times when you might feel like you are unseen, or that you're not seen enough, or maybe you're dealing with shadows of, like, maybe you were made to believe you needed to be invisible-ish growing up, or maybe you felt too seen growing up. You didn't get any privacy or anything like that. Like, you could have things, shadows like that to work on. Either way, like, you're seen in positive ways, especially by spirit. Children are so close to spirit, right? But it's also one of those, like, I was in that moment and I was just like, nah, I'll get helped eventually. I was in a rush because I was running late. I'd helped a friend, and I was supposed to get food for my oldest to cook dinner for everyone at the place that we're staying at. And like, I was on a time crunch, but I've also learned from stuff in the past, like, it don't do any good to get mad. And I knew that there may have been something I was supposed to see or hear or do in that moment. My ego is fully well trained or retrained to look for what's happening in this moment. Not the, oh my gosh, this is so horrible, but the, this is a really specific time to have like a time warp slowdown where nobody wants to come and assist in this easy moment. So why am I over here? And what it feels like is one of those, like, what is it? Help will be there when you need it. It'll be there in that divine timing moment. And that, like, remember also that you're a role model. You know what I mean? Whether you have your own kids or not, whether you have kids with your special person or not, like, you are a role model. You contribute to, and you interact with other people who are more direct role models and things like that. And so, like, I think that's why this is the main message from your special person in terms of my Alice in Wonderland deck. It says the right way, learning to create what you desire. And what it feels like is like, so we take that combination of information and the card, the tarot card that came out, and we'll look at the other part of the deck, but it's the Fool card too. And like, it fits in with that stuff, is like, you these people, your person wants you to start looking for how to manifest good moods, good vibes, and and good thoughts. They want you to take that leap of faith that maybe, just maybe, you can control how you feel more often. If you're already acquainted with this, then keep going. Maybe you just need to, maybe there's something else in this message that will help you know which direction to take things in. But for right now, it's like, it feels like it's one of those, like, they are learning right now how to adjust their vibration, how to retrain their ego, and it's going to take a minute. Like, and some change can happen overnight, but like right now, their message to you is that they feel like it's going to take a minute. They've got some ouches to heal, and some things to own, and some messes to clean up, and things like that. And what they want is, well, I feel like part of the overall message is like they are sending positive vibes your way, and they're, more importantly, they're sending them to themselves, which is kind of a newer practice to them. But you can tell, because these good things are happening to you, even if a bunch of other bad stuff's happening. There's someone there to help when you need it. There's someone there to call when you need to. There's a stranger there to give you a jump when you need it. There's an extra job. There's this. There's that. Like, and if you're experiencing like good stuff, a lot of good stuff happening in your life, know that part of that is because your person is thinking about you a lot, and they've already liked what they've seen. Even if you've not been in a glow up state for a while, like, they already liked what they've seen. And if you're really, you're pounding the pavement, or you're doing the thing, you're doing you're glowing up, which is bottom of the deck, Queen of Wands, right? You're finding that feel good place. They're sending you more good energy. They're like, yes, keep going. And they want you to learn, like, the right way to love yourself, and the right way to love them, which is not a, you have to do it this way or that way. It's more of like the spirit coming down and saying, like, in order for any relationship, whether twin flame, or vanilla, or mundane, or whatever, magical, whatever thing, any relationship is going to be healthier and mutually fun and beneficial when you come from a place of learning how to fill your own cup. You know what I mean? Like, and that's part of, so let's go into the rest of this deck. That's part of this too, is like, this Queen of Wands, who's on the bottom of our deck here, she is, like, if you notice, this is one of the things a lot of people don't look at in the tarot deck, right? What is the posture and position of the person in that deck, right? So she's the only queen, if you look at all the queens, who has her heart chakra fully open, right? And you could tell she's got her legs spread too. Like, even the Queen of Pentacles is kind of tilted to the side a little bit. She's kind of blocking things off a little bit with her pentacle, but the Queen of Wands is open. Like, she's open. She's heart forward, and she is that queen that's like, think of the wand, or the wand could be like a mic. Maybe you get on and do a channel, maybe you sing, maybe you write, maybe you are a public speaker, or motivational speaker, or a voice actor, or something like that. But you know how to manifest things. You know how to manifest them with your words. And this is also the queen that, like, the black cat a lot of times can symbolize the embracing of your shadow side too, because, like, think of it, this world is yin yang. It's not, if you're trying, oftentimes when we try to be like 100% good all the time, all we're really doing is ignoring that we're human, and that we do have a shadow side. And, like, there are, as a Capricorn and social architect of the zodiac, I would say there's a time and place for everything, and everything within balance is good, right? But, like, this is in the shadow card position, which is interesting. It's also like the thing that's in their subconscious mind. It's not always like a shadow thing, but it's in that position because it's one of those, like, it's in their subconscious mind. And what it feels like is like they're seeing that. They're seeing that you can manifest, that you can, like, wave your wand and things appear. Then they're not quite sure how you do it, but they're learning. Like, you've got that sunflower, which I think it's funny because I've been thinking about Queen of Wands a bunch since Ukraine. I love that they're flower, and I love, you know what, it's a really crappy situation that they're in, but I love some of the videos to where, like, Russia's trying to intimidate them, and they're like, fuck off. Like, that's, you know what, like, yes, that's Queen of Wands, you know what I mean? It's not, I'm not gonna beg you for nothing, like, I'm just gonna keep manifesting forward. I'm gonna keep moving into it, and it's also one of those, like, the sunflower, if you study sunflowers at all, it's one of the flowers that follows the light. And every night or every day when it starts to get darker, the head goes down and it closes a little bit. And then when the sun comes up, it opens up again. Like it'll go through that like every day through its season. And like what that means is like the Queen of Wands, she follows the light. The light follows her too, but she follows the light, right? That's part of her guidance. She follows her heart. And not in the way that the Queen of Cups does. I love the Queen of Cups, but the Queen of Cups is typically more like the Queen of Cups learns to use her intuition, yes, but the Queen of Wands has that lesson within her because she is the step after the cups, right? So like she's learned that lesson. She's learned to listen to her intuition. She knows she can follow the sunflower. She's tested that out. She knows that she can do that, right? And it's also one of those too, like she's learning to grow things. The next step after her is the Queen of Pentacles, who is in a garden, right? That's lush and has lots of things growing, right? But the Queen of Wands is that in her evolved energy, she is assertive. She's not dominating. She's not like pushy. She doesn't over explain herself and stuff. Like she's more of an action taker. She's, fire sign kind of energy, and she is much more likely to, like, if you challenge her, she's much more likely to go and do something, like to manifest the ingredients that she needs. She's much more likely to be like, you know what? I don't even need all these ingredients. I'll do it, where if you need 10, I only need 2, and she'll actually do it too. Like she'll actually get in there. And it feels like your person is saying like they see you as this person, even if you don't fully see yourself as this person yet. And if you don't, you should work on it. This is a part that we should all feel in ourselves, all of the Queen's energies we should. But like they see you as that person. They see you as that person who can manifest things, who is like bold and assertive and like, you know lion-hearted, magnanimous, generous, charismatic, things like that. And they're probably thinking about you a lot, especially when it has to do with music and movies and things like that. And then in the middle, it's interesting. Empress in reverse, right? Which, I mean, in many cases, that can indicate somebody who's like in diva state and things like that. But actually, I'm getting the sense that it's like mother energy, and that's in the center, so it's heart of the matter. So they're feeling the messages. They're feeling a lack of that nurturing, flowing, feminine mother energy in their life. And some of them may have recently lost their mothers, or may have lost some like other feminine energies in their life that feel that they may feel disconnected to that part of themselves. But this loss that they're going through is helping them connect to that. And you know what it feels like too is it feels like that's connected to that song from Jungle Book, that I must go to fetch the water. Because if you listen to it, like she's singing like in the beginning, it's like looking for a home, and then she's talking about like her dad's out hunting, her mom's cooking the food, so she must go and fetch the water until the day that she is grown. And what it feels like is like it's a chop wood carry water kind of thing. Like just continue to, and especially with the water reference, like go towards what feels good, and like find a way to make the things that don't feel so good feel good, and not in a forced way. Like if I was going to fetch water every day, I could have a couple attitudes about it. I could be like, oh, I can't believe I have to do this. They treat me like a baby, blah, blah, blah. Or I could be like, you know what? This is awesome. I love this time, this me time, that I get to walk to the water and fetch the water, and I get to sing and I get to fill it up, and I know that I'm doing a valuable thing that my mother and father would really appreciate. And even if they don't appreciate it, I'm still doing a great thing. You could take things in any way that you want to, but it's like go to that place within you that feels good. And it feels like, so on the top of the deck, so the hot topic, we've got 10 of Wands in reverse. So we've got some good wand energy here. Even the Fool card has wand in it. So we don't have a wand in the right way card, but there is a letter. So it feels like messages are coming through, and then also there's a lot of energy of like starting and stopping messages. It feels like they've been trying to send you some messages, but they're still like either it doesn't feel right or it's not the right time yet. But they're learning to accept that part of it too. Is like spirit is bringing them messages, and it's like, did you take care of this yet? Like before you try to take that next step towards your person, did you do this? Did you do that? Did you do this? And it's the go and fetch the water, go and fetch the water, go and fetch the water. Find how to be in a good place about going to fetch the water. But this 10 of wands in reverse feels like so it's a hot topic. So it feels like they're saying one, they're putting down a number of burdens. There's some, I know that I did a message recently. They're not always going to be linked, but it feels like it's related to that. There's some sort of stuff coming up. There's an event coming up. It just feels like there might be a couple, but it's like putting down different burdens, like family obligations and social obligations and contracts and things like that. And this energy too of this card when it's in reverse, it's like if you're carrying this and you're carrying too many burdens, it's like this is you dropping that bundle, and then you gotta pick up all the sticks, or you gotta decide, you know what, I'm not gonna pick up all the sticks, or you know what, I'm only gonna pick up a couple of them and I'll get them up the hill and I'll do it. But this is the active kind of a tower moment, it all falls down. It's like it ends up being almost like a pick up sticks game in a way. um but what it feels like is what they're thinking about is they don't want you to overwork, and also that they're learning not to overwork. And this can often sometimes be wands can be boundaries too, and communication. So like this tells me that like they want you to know, like, if there's any blocks in communication or weirdness or delays or things like that, it's already been coming out of that resistance energy, and it's already starting to flow. And the other thing is too, like, if they've had really really like tough boundaries, or like they've been like too rigid on it, those are opening up. Like whatever it was that was creating the energy, whether it's third parties or karmics or just things, the thoughts in their heads, or like worst case scenario thinking, stuff like that, it's moving itself out of the way. And the message the message is coming back that came to me that I had already gotten and was almost thinking to make this whole thing about is like, it's getting back to that kid's energy. Is like, one, don't count anyone down and out. Don't be in a place where you're like, I won't accept that help because it's from that source, kind of thing. Which is kind of weird to say, because there might be some moments where you really do need to discern, am I okay with accepting assistance from this person or that way or from this situation? But be open, like be in a best case scenario sort of vibe. Like, I don't care whether you just got in a fight with somebody and they like totally embarrassed you. Like, if you're in a place where you feel like you know that it is more than just a typical like entanglement, then the first place you got to start looking is with you. Not because you're doing something wrong, simply because look at what you're manifesting. Go to that place that feels good, go to that place within the well within, and like learn to manifest from the happy place. Learn to manifest from the place where it feels good. I love Abraham Hicks. You can listen to them. That's what they talk about. Like, you want to learn your emotional GPS system so you can recognize when you are in a good space, so that you can recreate that space when you're in good energy. And then when you want to manifest something, get into that energy. Like if I do any sort of candle magic from it, which by the way, I only ever do stuff for myself, don't do stuff for anybody else, just do it for me. When I'm in there though, I make sure that anytime that I light a candle or do something like that, I'm already in the state that I want to feel like I do. I'll like watch things or listen to things or draw or journal about things that are already in the energy that I want. I go to the good place first, and then I do the things that I want to bring me to the thing, or bring the thing to me, that kind of stuff. And it feels like they want you to learn your own way to do that, or reach out to me and I'll help you learn my way, and then you can make your own way. I don't know. Either way, I'm going to leave this here. I hope that this helped. Thank you for watching, liking, subscribing. And for those of you that hate it, thank you for hating it. Whatever it is. Make sure that y'all, either way, are drinking lots of water, eating good, healthy food, getting plenty of exercise, and creating your feel good place. All right, y'all. Bye.